you to point out this well-dressed sister here to make me feel some type of way about myself becomes a problem.
Let me get you.
Reason I have never said I do is because I don't.
I've been married, and I couldn't sign up for bad sex.
Test drive.
So if we enter a relationship with anything that's about me, then I don't believe that we're ready.
Totally single.
Completely single. I'm David Scott, new professor. I love that. From college, single, never been married, running from marriage. No, I'm not gonna say that.
Yes, you are.
Yes, you are. Gotta run from it. No desire to get married, but if it happens, somebody set me up, I'll do it.
I don't even know what that means. But you know what? A man is supposed to actively pursue looking for marriage as opposed to us women who might be like, yo, I'm hungry, I'm thirsty, I want to be married. But he's actively pursuing marriage and thinking
I don't know what that means.
I'm getting married then. Thank you, Chris. I'm
You are not.
You've been negotiating the
now you're going to
contract
do it.
2 years.
Okay, well, I am Alicia, and I'm with you, Shelly. I'm totally single. I have one child who's actually here today. Thank you for coming. Yay.
Your college-bound child.
College-bound, yes. Let's get it.
We're going to do a you fund me type of thing.
No, we're not.
No.
Because
You need to.
I'm trying to tell you, I will boycott y'all for life. Because you go me is basically, why don't we just get out there with a bucket and ask for some dollars in the road? At this
Why
point,
not just get out there with a bucket then?
I'm with that. It's snowing. People would give you a lot of money today.
Yeah.
Because
I
it's
need to
snowing.
get out
Like,
there.
she really need that.
Because college costs money.
There you go. That's what you do. But I don't have them problems because I'm Danielle. I'm fabulous. I'm single. I ain't never married. And I ain't had no little regrets that I got to be worried about going to college. So, and, you know, I'm still single because we all know I'm available. But we just ain't found the man yet that's ready, willing, and most importantly, able to handle
all of this.
Right here.
That's right. Who's able? Who's out there? But you know what? With the pickings out there for women, to me, women, I'm not going to talk about the men. I'm not going to speak in totality. But women, we have a lot of slim pickings out here. I mean, either you're gay or you don't have no job.
Don't hit the statistic. Don't hit the statistic.
No.
Please do not hit us with the statistic that they all gay and in jail. Stop it.
Gay in jail. But more importantly, now we're talking about today. One other thought. Atheists. Who the hell thought about being atheist? I never thought about that until I met this guy right here. His name is Taj Howard, right? Taj Howard. And I'm gonna put it out there. He was trying to kick it with me. He was like liking me and everything. And he came up to me. We talked. We busted up on the phone. And he talking about, yo, I'm an atheist. Do you know who I am? I'm a Christian.
You was like,
no. I'm a Christian woman who goes to church every Sunday. And you want to kick it with me? And you calling yourself an atheist? So
did he know all these things about you religiously?
You didn't know?
Do you see?
Do you read the Facebook? Do you read Facebook? Do you read comments and statuses and posts?
No, I didn't really know her like that from the show and all.
But that's what you do. When you meet somebody on Facebook, you go through their statuses just to check out who they are first.
See, this is the thing. Because, see, I often, like, you know, in this new day and age, I'm very concerned with how people react to these things. Because there's a couple of things. When you are outside of the majority, you need to come and tell me. So, like, example, I think if you gay and you pursuing a homosexual relationship, you need to let them know you homosexual. When the vast majority of the world has some religious view and you are outside of the majority, meaning that you are an atheist, not even agnostic. You're an atheist, right? So that's like, yeah, okay, but you're an atheist, because to me, that's worse. So I'm being honest, because agnostic means that it's something out there that you believe in. You saying you don't believe in nothing, because I ain't about the Big Bang Theory. I don't care how many scientists come at it. But I'm going to just say this, that when you come with something like that, that's like telling me you got an STD. You need to tell me that on the first conversation.
Yeah, I agree.
Well, I mean, he at least he said it. It wasn't like we didn't get too far along in the whole talking process before he told me the whole atheist thing. But I just really, I mean, my head shut off. I mean, I still think you're a nice guy and everything, but I never even looked at you another day. Like, it was like, are you kidding me? I will never look in your way. But maybe I don't know enough about it, and so we decided to bring him in as well as...
So knowing more about why he an atheist is going to help you date him?
No, it ain't going to help me.
Let's get it, because
It
we're
ain't going
trying
to
to
help
get her
me date
dating,
him.
so let's talk about it.
But I want to know how people feel about it. Would you date an atheist? Would you, I mean,
no.
Let's talk about us out
So there you
here.
go. Step one, Danielle is giving the high five to hell no. I'm not dating atheists. I'm not
Did you say
dating
hell?
agnostics. I'm not dating Muslims even. Because this is my thing. I gave my life to the Lord Jesus Christ, accept him as my personal Lord and Savior. And if you want me to put that all aside for you, just think about how I will forsake you. Clearly, I'm just faithless. No, none of that.
Go ahead, David.
Could I present a different angle? And I'm just sitting here listening to everybody talk. A lot of times, ladies, y'all meet guys and y'all start dealing with them talking. A lot of guys don't even attend church with you at all. And I don't know
Well, I won't be with him
if I
either.
even spend time talking about the whole concept of religion or lack of religion or what you believe in. But I'm sitting back here thinking about so many guys I know that the women they deal with have no idea to what degree if they practice religion, because they never go to church with them. They're not sitting down talking about the scriptures or anything. And I was like, if I never said anything, how much would it really matter? Or would you draw that out of me later on to saying, listen, you know, I'm a God-fearing
A lot
woman.
of people in church are functioning atheists. There are a lot of people just sitting in church, probably for the benefit of you, because you like it so much. A lot of guys find that baseless. A lot of guys find the church thing, because there's a lot of men in church.
No, it's not.
What is?
There's no men in church.
You been in?
No. I mean the
Well, I
organization.
see he ain't been in church.
I mean,
He
no,
ain't
no,
in
no,
church.
let me
You don't
clarify.
know.
Go to
Clarify. Organizational wise, the bishops, the priests, the ministers, all the men, the gods are the men. So there's a lot of men worshiping there. So naturally, I think women are drawn more to that. A lot of women see their pastors more than they do their men, actually. A lot of men don't, a lot of men don't vibe with that. But let me explain. All right, so let me put this out. Let me put my view out there. I'm an agnostic atheist. I don't believe in God, but yet I do not know if God is real or not. That's not important to me. My question, my belief in the atheism is, I don't agree with your claim. You're a lawyer. You present a case that there's a God. I don't agree with it. That's my position as an atheist. That's why I'm called an atheist. Agnostic means I don't know if there's a God or not. Now, to say I date Christian women, I don't think your religion tells who you are. Your religion doesn't speak to your humanity. Your religion doesn't speak to how you deal with people. Your religion doesn't speak to how good of a person you are.
But why date a Christian woman if you're why
just go find
why
yourself
go
atheist
after
agnostic.
why go after a Christian woman if you are atheist? And not that I know your business, but you told me something about you dated one that was an actual minister, pastor, something like that. Not to tell your business. I'm sorry, I didn't.
Yes.
That's probably one of those things you're supposed to keep to yourself. But anyway, since I said it, I just put it out there. But so why did she date you, and why did you date her if you're clearly an atheist? She's clearly a pastor, minister, religious person.
Because the goal when dating, I don't know what your goal is, but I'm not trying to turn you into me. I'm not trying to make you disbelieve. I'm not trying to make you question. I'm not doing all that with dating. Maybe that's me. I don't look that far down the road to marriage. Like, okay, I'm going to marry this woman. No, I'm just getting to know you.
You just trying to smash.
So why should I waste my time? See, for me, I need to look at the end game, which is this. I am not dating any man that I cannot see myself with and raising children with. We have a base ideologic issue. And I'm not raising my children to be heathens out here. So therefore, therefore, you are not the one for me. Because if you do not believe in my God and more importantly, my Lord Jesus Christ, then I cannot have children with you. And therefore, there is no purpose in me wasting my time with you today.
I think one of the issues is a lot of people associate atheism with immorality.
Oh, I don't. I actually do not. No, it's no different than, again, me deciding that I'm going to date a Muslim. It is no different. That's what I'm saying to you. Okay. For me, it's against my core fundamental beliefs, and I'm not wasting my time with someone who is not going to assist me in continuing to grow my core fundamental beliefs. And it's not because I don't want to be challenged, because we can go all day, but I ain't going home at night with you to ride it either.
Okay. Ooh, there you go.
All right. That's.
Then I guess my question is, when did this begin for you? Because I would assume that your parents coming up had you in a church or a certain setting. When did you stand on your own 2 feet and say, you know what, wait a minute, this is not real, or I don't know if it's real yet? How old were you? And then talk to us about the process.
Wasn't one event. I grew up in a Baptist setting. My dad took me to church and all that. Really, when I started going to college, I started meeting other people. My best friend's a Muslim. And I started meeting people. I say, you know what? This guy is saying Christian, God is real, Jesus. This guy is saying Allah. This guy is saying he's a Jew. You all can't be right. You all can't be right, but again, you all can't be wrong. Then the whole guilt thing got me. I said, I can't think like that. Then I read, one of my favorite comedians, George Carlin. I watched him, loved him, and he put things in perspective. He said absurdities. He said that this guy above you loves you and all this, but he sends you to hell for not believing in him, but he loves you. I'm like, you know what, that's true. And I laughed at that. And being able to laugh at that took a big brick off my shoulder. Because it let me know, these are people, just ideas. These are all these different ideas, and everybody's idea is different. There's thousands of gods. There's thousands of people who believe in gods. Your faith is just as strong as a Muslim's faith. So that just let me know that all this leads to, my premise is that it's an imaginary thing. A lot of people are making this up, and I believe that. I read the Bible. I studied science. I studied history. It didn't mesh well with the Bible. You know, not Bible, if you want to use it for spiritual or make yourself better, that's fine. But factual, that's what I have a problem with. If you're saying this is fact, that's where I challenge you. So I started the other atheist organizations, people that have different beliefs. And then it became a system of talking, let people know that feel the same way you do.
But you mentioned that not each one of you say that you're atheist. Each one has a different thing, or they don't title themselves. That's what, based off of that. She got something to say.
My name is Mariah Sontag. I happen to be an ordained minister, and I am a Gnostic, okay? And I have taught the Bible. There was a time when I was brought up in the Presbyterian church, and at the time I was a Baptist. And my journey to becoming not just agnostic, but also ordained minister, because I researched what a minister really is, okay? A minister, the word comes from a Latin word, ministera, which means servant. Has nothing to do with religion. It was a servant. The example of that was because when you had the Athenian or the Roman Senate, they had ministers that worked under them. These ministers would go out into the public, ask the public what their needs are. They would write these needs down, bring it to the Senate would argue it, and then they would create a bill for the Caesar to sign, or the king to sign. Ministers, that's all they do, are servants, civil servants. So you don't have to be a Baptist, a Presbyterian, or any religion, be part of any religion to be a minister. All you have to do is serve the people, and that's what I do.
So what people are you serving?
I serve anyone who wants help.
And what?
First of all, I used to work in the medical field. I worked with HIV and AIDS for 14 and a half years. I serviced that population, helping those people, okay? Where there were a lot of ministers, priests, rabbis, who wouldn't even go near a person with HIV or AIDS. I did.
Single on a Saturday night, which is a relationship talk show. We talk about everything because you know what? There's everybody in this world. So let's go to a break right now and get this whole thing together. Let's get some. Welcome back to Single on a Saturday night, right here at TGI Fridays, 4000 City Ave. We are talking about religion, whether you are atheist. I've never actually been exposed to too many atheists, but whatever your religion, No,
Because based on them, like, you might be exposed every day, but you don't know.
but I wouldn't know, right? So this is the first in-depth conversation. So no matter what your belief is, if you don't like it, just turn the channel, whatever. But just listen. It's not about judging anyone. Just listen, because I will.
See, I think we kind of got a little bit slanted here because this is mostly a relationship show, and that's when we talk about a relationship. I don't care what your religion is or your lack of religion is if it's not pertaining to me and myself personally. So you can be whatever you want to be. I'm not looking down on it. I'm not making any judgment other than I know it's not for me and mine. That's very different. It's no different for me than homosexuality. It's no different for me if you're a drug addict. It ain't got nothing to do with me and mine. So I'm not making any judgment calls on it. I just know that it's not what I want for my family and for my relationship and for my possible mate. And I think that's a very different statement.
And it's not what I want either. This is.
But I'm wondering if it affects their dating life, where you're only limited to dating people who are had the same thought process as you, or does it carry over where you're able to date people who have a faith in a religious set? Does it affect you? Yes, no. Tell me the process.
Well, in many cases.
What's your name, baby?
My name's Xavier. All right, and I'll tell this from the jump. I don't identify as an atheist, but my attitude towards the anthropomorphized God of the Abrahamic faith is definitely atheistic. Now, I am religious in the sense that I believe spirituality is born of the flesh and nurtured in human love. I'm an ethical humanist. And humanism is a progressive philosophy of life that, without supernaturalism, affirms our ability and responsibility to lead ethical lives of personal fulfillment that aspire to the greater good of humanity. And with that being said, though, that often comes down to, in many cases, the religious person. Where when you said that you would not date a Muslim or an atheist, and that to me came off as bigotry. And it was worse than bigotry because it was religious endorsed bigotry. It was theistic endorsed bigotry.
So I had to date whoever. I have to basically go against my values because otherwise I'm bigoted. Well, I'm going to be a bigot in Jesus' name.
Amen.
I'm going to be a bigot.
Well,
Amen.
I'm not saying you have to endorse anything, but you should be open to things.
No, I'm not open to dating. What I just said, and that's why I said that. I can be friends with all of y'all. We can all be cool. But again, for me, dating is to find a mate, a life companion, and possibly the father of my child. So therefore, you don't fit the bill. That's no different than somebody who can't stay employed, somebody who has no goals and aspirations, somebody who's a drug addict. It's no different. All those things go together for me.
Right.
The Nietzsche philosophy of God is dead doesn't exist on this panel. They believe that God is real.
That's outstanding, but I believe that the most important thing in life is the action you take. We believe in deed before creed. You can believe in God all day, but what are you doing to give back to the earth? And will you put God before building relationships with other people? And if you put God before building relationships with other people like you are doing, then you will, of course, cut that ability to take that relationship to another point. But she just said that we build
relationships with everybody. Why would I have a relationship where I know Taj, we're friends, I talk to him, I have his number, he has my number.
Well, what if
It's not a potential mate.
What if you fell in love with Taj?
I will not fall in love with Taj.
You're going to put the road
How do you know that?
You are going to put
I'm
the
just
road
saying.
up.
No, it's not.
No, that's what I'm saying.
I'm going to tell you this. I'm going to tell you this. Let's just be real. Because we all, since you want to talk about the
how would we
humanistic
be
values.
real?
No,
I
I'm
mean,
being real with you. I'm telling you how I feel about it. You told me how you feel. And I'm telling you how I feel about it. Those things are against my base moral belief. And like I said, my goal in dating, and it's not in getting to know Xavier and learning something about Xavier, because example, I have many friends who are spiritualists, and we discuss this constantly. But you know what? They're not mates for me, and they know that they're not mates for me because I am a strong-willed woman. What I believe is what I believe, and you're not going to deter me from my beliefs. And because, wait a minute, and because my goal in dating, see, it's very different than relationships. I'm talking about dating and looking for the potential one. If these are those things, you are not the one. That means you are not a potential mate for me. And that's not bigotry. That's not limiting. What it is knowing what it is that makes up Danielle, what are core values for Danielle, and what's important for Danielle to move forward in life. And that means that you don't fit the bill. There may be things about Danielle that don't fit the bill for Xavier. But because I want to accept Jesus Christ, it's got to be bigotry. Because it's got to be, no, that's what you said.
No,
you said it was bigoted.
That's not what I said.
You said
No.
it was bigotry because I would cut certain religions, because I would cut lack of religion and lack of faith. So So that's why I said I'm bigger than Jesus' name.
Without even knowing those people.
Yes.
Because they belong to a particular demographic. You cut them off from a potential next level of relationship.
Yes,
with them,
but
regardless
it's
of how you feel about them. How is that not bigotry?
There's going to be no feeling.
But Xavier, I wanted you to expand upon your dating
Why are
life.
you trying to take the choice
I
away?
want you to expand upon your dating life.
Wait. Why are you trying to take the choice away? We all have choices. We can choose to be with whomever. If we choose not to be with you, and you, that's our choice. That doesn't make us
you just said it wasn't
That doesn't make us
You
bigger.
just said it wasn't fine.
That just makes our choice. My choice is this. I choose not to be with. I just choose not to be with you. It's just, that's a choice. We all
I
have
choose not to
choices.
pursue it. I choose
Just-
not to continue any kind of
And it should
relationship
not be a
outside of friendship.
problem. I don't care if I'm not choosing you because you might be ugly. That's my choice. I'm not gonna choose you.
It's a whole bunch of things that you can do.
How many times have people told me, "Oh, you don't fit the bill because of your weight"?
Okay.
What?
Ladies, my husband's sitting back there. Okay. I've been with the same man for 24 years. Okay. Now, is it a perfect marriage? No, nothing is perfect because we're both human beings. We both have flaws. Now, he comes from a different belief system than I do. Okay? We do not focus on our different beliefs. What we focus is what we have in common.
Let me ask you this. When you got married, were you of the similar belief system?
No.
What was different?
What was different? Because we knew that there was more.
No. What was different? What was the different belief system? Because at one time you told me that you...
as a Presbyterian.
Okay. And you told me that at one time you were doing Presbyterian something.
No. At the time, I was a non-denominational Christian.
Okay. But it was still Christian.
Right. But I gave that up, and I didn't give that up for him.
But did you give it up before you got married?
Yes.
Okay. I'm trying to get this timeline
I
together.
gave up before I got married. Okay.
So did you become an whatever?
I'm
did you?
agnostic.
Did you become
I'm
agnostic?
atheist,
Did you become agnostic before you married him?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. He grew up as a Presbyterian. He's not a Presbyterian, okay, to this day. He went through his own evolution in his beliefs. In my mind, I said, oh, well, now that he's changed from being Presbyterian, now he's got this new thing, I'm not going to be with him. When I met him and he was a Presbyterian, did I say, oh, well, because he believes in Jesus and all that, and I'm no longer there, I'm not going to be with this man? No, because the whole thing was that it wasn't about what he believes in religiously or what I believe. It's that we're both human beings. And
I
we're
would
both
like
human.
to know,
We didn't focus on what was different.
Has it had an effect on your dating life?
No, it had no effect on our dating life.
Okay, go
Just
ahead.
Do you have
I'm
children?
saying,
We don't have children.
Good.
There you
Tamara
go.
has something.
You know why we don't have children? You know why
Because-
we don't have children? It's because I am unable to have children.
And how would you feel about raising your child with his belief system?
First of all, I wouldn't raise my child with his belief system or with my belief system. I would raise my children, if I had, to believe in what they want to believe in. If my child choose to come to me and say, Mommy, you know, I met a friend of mine and we were talking about Jesus and I want to learn about Jesus. Well, if my child made that choice that they want to learn about Jesus, I'm not going to stop my child from doing that. They make the choice and to believe in what they want to believe in, not me. Not me. I don't do that.
Okay, go. All right.
You already touched on the question that I was going to ask you about the children. I was raised in a household to believe in God, but I was also taught to believe and to find my own belief system. So if you were of a different denomination, I was allowed to go to your church with you. But I think, but the bigger issue is here, we're at a point here where the ladies are speaking, their belief system is based on that goal of having children. So, you know, I think it made it easier maybe, and correct me if I'm wrong, for your relationship to work out because you did not have children. Because even with you having children, you still have to instill in them and teach them both ways for them to develop their own mindset to choose what they want to do later on in life.
Well, first of all, I'm Black Cherokee, and I was raised, even though traditionally you're raised by your grandparents. Your parents work, you're raised by your grandparents. My grandmother was a Methodist. My grandfather was agnostic. Those two people stayed together until They both died. And that was never an issue. And one thing, I was raised by my grandmother, who was a Methodist, who went to church every Sunday and Bible study every Wednesday night. And by my grandpa, they said, you have to choose your own path. We will not choose your path for you. So that's what I already had that foundation before growing up, before I even met this man and married him.
But I got you, but this is what I'm saying. It's not about whether I think two people who are different or different faith, different religion can get together. I believe that can happen. Right. But if it's my choice, I choose not. If it's her choice, everybody else. Okay. But you know what? Everybody might choose differently. But do I think that people from different backgrounds can get together and be one and love each other to the end of the earth? Yes, they can. But if you're choosing, that's just my choice. I don't feel like debating on that. I don't feel like having to just have that on me, but that's me. But I do believe that you and your husband, great, 24 years. Hey, I'm not married 24 years. I've been single 24 years. Hey, but you know what I'm saying? So that's good that works for you. But
we're not discussing choice here. Of course we have choices. Of course we have preferences. We're debating why the choice is there. It's no different than saying, I don't like dating white people. You know, for whatever reasons. But if you're saying I don't like date white people, that is a racial preference. It's based on racism. Whatever you think about white people, you're connecting that's why you don't want to date them. This is where the debate comes from.
Really not.
But you
can't have an ism unless you are the person in power. So
not even that.
By definition, people who are in the minority cannot be an ism. A woman cannot be sexist. A black person or a Mexican cannot be
if you talk about
racist.
Power, you're talking about who I want to date. I'm the person in power deciding who I want to date. So there is the ism. I'm the person with the power saying who I can date. So there it can be an ism. I can't be.
Sorry, the legal definition don't fly.
We're not talking.
I'm sorry. I do. Everything I think about
definition.
Can I get into the discussion of what effect it has had on your dating life? Somebody here.
There's not that many atheists.
Okay, but has it affected on your dating life overall?
We got one in the back that's actually going to tell us how it impacts.
That's what I want to hear. That's what I want
Todd, take it around the other side. Stand up. She's kind of short.
She is standing.
She's kind of short. Wow.
All right. My name is Mara, and I am an atheist. All right. And
it's a support group.
And what'd you say?
It's a support group. It was like
no, I'm proud of that. I'm proud of who I am. And a couple of things. One, I think too much focus is being put on the label. Yes, I am an atheist, but there's so much more to me than that. I'm sorry, can you hear me?
Yeah.
I'm an atheist, but there's so much more to me than that, and I feel like, yes, it has caused a problem in my dating life because I've gone out with guys, and I initially may not tell them in the beginning that I'm an atheist because I want to get to know them as a person just like I want them to get to know me as a person. We have a lot in common. We may laugh and giggle, blah, blah, blah. And then the religion talk comes up, especially if I'm dating someone black because religion and black community goes hand in hand. And it shuts down immediately. Well, why? Because we had
hold that thought. We got to go to a break, and we'll bring right back. Okay, we're going to come back next week with the end of your conversation. All right. Thank you for joining us. Thank you to everyone who helped us put the show together. We're talking about DJ Romy Rome. He's on the radio 88.1 every Tuesday. And, of course, Dr. Shock, Austin Fine Photography. I do believe he can take some candid shots of you, and you may have a beautiful photo shoot
I'm
coming
very
up.
excited.
She has a photo shoot coming up. It's a birthday photo shoot. So
yes, in my birthday suit.
What? She said a birthday suit? Okay, that's what I'm talking about. That's Austin Fine Photography. They do it all. They take great shots, and they just make you look so fantastic. And, of course, New Video Productions.
Nude video?
New. What? New. NewVideoProductions.com and Groove Boy Entertainment. And, of course, we always have to thank my hairstylist. That is Kawamba Hair Salon, right? Isn't it? Kawamba Hair Salon. He goes there, too.
You got to thank Glam Goddess. I'm loving the list.
At Glam Goddess 215, follow on Instagram. We will see you next week. We're gonna continue this conversation because, hey, we all having relationship issues with the whole dating thing and the whole religion thing. So we'll see you next week, all right?
Through volunteering or a donation, we'll make the holidays a little brighter for families in need. Call us at 443-573-3292 to find out how you can help. From all of us